We must stop Iran and stand with Israel, and we must do it now. We cannot punt this problem to our children. We are the generation that must face this issue. We can take a stand with Israel tonight through a national policy of divestment from Iran. 8 states in the United States have voted to eliminate its pension fund investments in foreign companies operating in Iran because money is a very powerful weapon. Tonight, there are leaders from 50 states in this auditorium. I want you to go home and encourage the mayor of your city, the senators and congressmen in your state government, to shut off the flow of American dollars to Iran that they are using to build weapons to kill American soldiers in Iraq. Let's start a national policy of divestment from Iran and do it tonight from coast to coast. Israel faces a threat of appeasement. Beyond the threat from Iran, there comes appeasement. I am concerned that in the coming months yet another attempt will be made to parcel out parts of Israel in a futile effort to appease Israel's enemies in the Middle East. I believe that misguided souls in Europe, the misguided souls in the political brothel that is now the UN, and even our own State Department will once again try to turn Israel into crocodile food. Winston Churchill said, an appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile in the futile hope the crocodile will eat him last. End of quote. In 1938, Czechoslovakia's Sudetenland was turned into crocodile food for the Nazi Germany. The Nazi beast smelled the weakness in the appeasers of Europe, devoured Czechoslovakia, murdered 50 million people, and systematically slaughtered 6 million Jews. We are again hearing calls to appease the enemies of Israel. Once again, those who would appease seek to do so always at the expense of Israel. They tell us if we want the Sunnis and the Shiites to stop massacring each other in Iraq, Israel must give up more land. And if we want the Syrians to stop murdering the leaders of Lebanon, then Israel must give up more land. And if we want the Saudis to permit women to drive and to vote, then Israel must give up land. And if we want the sun to rise in the east and set in the west, Israel must give up more land. Let us be very clear about this. Israel is not the problem here. The problem is Arab rejection of Israel's right to exist. The problem is Israel has no partner for peace in the Middle East. The problem is radical Islam's bloodthirsty embrace of a theocratic dictatorship that believes they have a mandate from God to kill Christians and Jews. The problem is the failure of moderates in the Arab and Muslim world to stand up and rein in these Islamic extremists. If the moderate Arabs believe that murdering Christians and Jews is wrong, then stand up and say so. Your silence is deafening in the United States of America. Appeasement is not the answer, my friends. To quote the great evangelical abolitionist William Wilberforce, he said, and I quote, appeasement is nothing more than surrender on the installment plan. Israel has an enemy in America called Jimmy Carter. Fasten your seat belts. In recent years, we have all witnessed the constant bashing of Israel by the United Nations, the European Union, the media elites, and the anti-Semites everywhere. These attacks are the only real democracy, in the Middle East, besieged on all sides by enemies who want to destroy it and drive the Jewish people into the sea, and have become as predictable as they are disgusting. But now comes, how does one explain the hateful words and actions of a former president of the United States who has joined this course of Israel bashing? Jimmy Carter ought to be ashamed of himself. Let's look at his record. First, Carter writes a book on Middle East policy that compares democratic Israel as a repugnant former apartheid regime of South Africa. That is obscene. Mr. Carter, if you are searching for apartheid in the Middle East, where some citizens are second class because of their race or religion, you've looked at the wrong country. Racist and religious bigotry can be found in Saudi Arabia and Iran, but not in democratic Israel that grants all of its citizens political and religious liberty. If you haven't read Carter's book, don't. It is so disgusting and biased that at least 15 longtime members of the Carter Center Advisory Board in Atlanta have resigned in protest. He presents nearly every Israeli leader negatively while he approvingly quotes Yasser Arafat's claim that, quote, the PLO has never advocated the annihilation of Israel, end of quote. Without telling the reader about the long-term effort of the PLO to destroy the Jewish state, no one had more Jewish blood on his hands than Yasser Arafat other than Adolf Hitler in the 20th century. In short, Carter's book is pure anti-Israel propaganda. And it isn't just for the PLO that Jimmy Carter has a soft spot. As Hamas gunmen were executing people in the streets of Gaza last month, Jimmy Carter was in Ireland telling Human Rights Conference that it was criminal for the U.S. to fail to recognize this terrorist group as the legitimate government of the Palestinians. But my friends, it gets worse. From his book to his public statements, Jimmy Carter has made it clear that he wants to drive a wedge between Christians and Jews and between Israel and America. He has literally met with rabbis and told them to be wary of people like you and I who support Israel because we probably have a hidden agenda. Mr. Carter, I have news for you. Our agenda is not hidden. For 26 years, we have conducted a night to honor Israel under the close supervision of the Jewish community in the city of San Antonio. If there is a hidden agenda, Mr. Carter, it's yours, not ours. The Carter Center has been the recipient of significant money in recent years from questionable sources in the Middle East. According to investigative reporter Claudia Rosette, those sources include the same Saudi prince who tried to bribe New York City with a $10 million donation after 9/11 and wrapped his gift in the suggestion that Americans need to rethink their support of Israel. New York City's Mayor Rudy Giuliani wisely rejected that gift, but Jimmy Carter proudly counts that prince as one of his supporters. So today I call on former President Carter and Baptist Sunday school teacher to publicly disclose how much of the Carter Center's funding comes from anti-Israel sources in the Middle East. We want to know. And now let me finish the back half of that verse. I will curse those who curse you. Where are the nations that have persecuted the Jewish people? Where is Pharaoh and his army? Where are the Babylonians? Where are the Greeks? Where is the Ottoman Empire? Where are the Romans? Where is that goose-stepping Nazi lunatic Adolf Hitler and his Nazi hordes? They are all historic footnotes in the boneyard of human history. Where is Israel? Where are the Jewish people? They are alive and well. They are thriving. They are prospering. They are growing. In the day of adversity, the flag of Israel is still flying over the ancient walls of the great city. The mighty right hand of God has gathered